Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
I'm Connor Bunn.
And I'm Dakota Rutledge.
And guys, today we got a great episode of Kinzel's Classroom. Professor, take it away.
All right, boys, class is now in session. So this is going to be Kinzel's Classroom for Atlanta. For anybody who hasn't watched this before, what we do, I pick 5 drivers a week, and I kind of give my feedback and my grade on them. And I see if my students here, my good old colleagues, agree or disagree with me. So like I said to these guys before we went on the air here, this was probably the most difficult list I've had to put together because almost everybody ran around where I thought they were going to run. So I got some drivers here, and so number 1 on the list is in the 1 car of Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch failed inspection 3 times and had to do a pass-through under green at the start of the race, but he still rebounded to finish P6. So for his performance, I'd give him around a B, but for his team, I give him an F. And I give NASCAR an F as well, because if your car's going to fail, this has happened so many times with so many other cars. If your car fails 3 times, like, what are you doing, man? It's just really, like, Kurt Busch was already in the top 10 by the end of stage 1. So he had a fast car, obviously, but to fail inspection 3 times and for that to be the only penalty to come from that, I don't know. So Kurt Busch had a good day, but I put NASCAR and his team on blast for sure.
Yeah, I definitely have to say that's pretty fair. Just to kind of touch on a comment I made to you when we were watching the race together yesterday, it's like, how stiff are these penalties really? Where he had to do his pass through on the start, and maybe he's just lucky it's a mile and a half like Atlanta, but he's back on the lead lap running in the top 15 in the second stage of the race. So what are you really giving up here?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I would give him a solid B plus. For a little bit yesterday, I didn't know which Busch brother was in that 1 car with his ability. I was actually very impressed with Kurt. I was like, man, like, this could suck for him. It could be a long day, but he rebounded well. I think right after he went a lap down, I mean, he was passing those guys right back. So yeah, B plus for him. F minus for his team. I mean, what he got to do to that thing to get it to fail 3 times, but. Like you mentioned on NASCAR's side, when they came out with this penalty, failed 3 times, starting the back and a pass through, I think, as a collective, we were like, whoa, man, this is going to be a game changer, man. This is going to prevent teams from pushing that envelope. But, they figured out how to rebound well from this penalty. And, it's like, now what do we do? Do we just DQ guys if they fail 3 times, or what are we going to do?
So where does this go? There. I think it kind of caught a break that it was at a mile and a half track. If this was like Bristol last week, then the penalty would have made a little more sense. So maybe NASCAR needs to rethink that. Like maybe for those intermediate super speedway tracks, maybe it's like a 2-lap penalty or something at the start of the race. I don't know.
Yeah. If it was at Martinsville, he might as well have just taken the green and then parked it at the truck afterwards. He would have been
Yeah, right.
I applaud Kurt. I mean, it sucks that happened. I didn't see what the infraction for failing, what actually failed in the scheme of things. But to pit on the green and go a lap down and come back all the way to 6 and pass everybody through the whole freaking race. I mean, Kurt drove the damn wheels off that thing. I'm right with Connor, B plus. I almost want to give him an A, but they should have never been back there to begin with.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I gotta go with A minus for Kurt just for driving that thing back up there. But yeah, F for the team for having him fail 3 times, making him start in the back, making him do a run through in the pits. But yeah, he overcame it and he was able to finish 6th place. So I got to give him an A minus.
Yeah, so it was a solid for him. I just wish that the team in NASCAR would have they've done that. So my second driver on the list here, the 41 of Cole Custer, struggling hard in his rookie season. It just seems like all the other rookies we've talked about, like John Hunter has been driving like a veteran all season. Christopher Bell's finally starting to find his stride, and then Tyler Reich is just driving the wheels off of that car for Richard Childress Racing. And then we kind of forget about Cole Custer. I kind of expected better of him because before the season started, I thought this was the best ride out of all those rookie cars right there. It's still early. He finished the race 19th, but I just kind of expect a little bit more. I give him a C minus D plus for his efforts.
Yeah, I agree. And let's be clear, you thought it was the best ride out of the rookie rides because it is the best situation out of all the rookie situations. All the other rookies would kill to be driving a Stewart-Haas racing machine right now. So the fact that he's not doing more while having more is a little concerning. I really like Cole Custer. I really love seeing him kind of come alive and actually get to see some of his personality in the Xfinity Series last year. And to not be able to see that because of his struggles this year has been a little disheartening. I'm hoping that, he's learning from everything that he's struggling with right now and can really turn it around and kind of get back to where we think he should be. But I have to once again kind of agree with you. I have him at a C minus D plus kind of day and just kind of getting a little concerning on my end.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with C minus as well. It's hard for me to give these rookies a grade above, C or B because, despite what ride they're in, and granted he is in arguably the best ride as a rookie, with the competition being the way it is nowadays, it's really hard to get really down on these guys, and it's really hard to get really high on these guys. Of course, you would expect more out of him, but it's tough to tell. It's early in the season. We're off a pandemic. Rhythm is a real thing in racing. Once you get into rhythm, you start to get, those good finishes. And I think with not being able to really have much rhythm and going to very tough tracks to drive on, it showed out. So C minus for me. Hope for better for Custer in the future.
Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, a C minus for him, but I gotta give Stewart-Haas Racing a C minus as well. The 10 car finished in 17th, the 41 finished in 19th, and the 14 finished in 20th. But with the 4 finishing first, yeah, that's good. But the rest of the team wasn't there, so I gotta give the entire Stewart-Haas team a C minus.
Fair.
Eric Tomarola did have a loose wheel, but they did run like dog crap. I think Custer's kind of just, he could break through next year. He could get it at the end of this year. I feel like he's still figuring it out. I mean, Daniel Suarez didn't do nothing in that car last year, so it's kind of hard to gauge how fast it really was from when Kurt left it. But I feel like Custer should be running faster. I think he's only got one top 10. I feel like Bell's starting to get the hang of it. And Reddick's clearly, shining when he shines, but when he doesn't, I mean, he was up to fourth yesterday and then just fell off the map. Never saw him again. John Hunter Nemechek, he's up there wheeling and dealing, or he's in 28th. So I don't really. It's hard to go. It's up and down with him. But
I feel like what's killing some of these rookies is they're not being able to get any practice time. So had Cole Custer been able to get some practice laps at Atlanta and all these other tracks, maybe the results would be a little bit different. So I really think not being able to practice qualify could be also hurting them as well.
They're giving them and throwing them in the race. Pretty much. They're not even learning their drivers.
Yeah, that's exactly. A good point. You got guys that have never even driven these tracks in a cup car before showing up to really difficult and technically challenging tracks. Like, all right, boys, have at her. Good luck out there.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, so number 3 on my list is the 47, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So really, the last 3 races for Stenhouse, he's had really fast cars and some solid finishes to show for. I was saying yesterday to Mike and to our group who was watching yesterday, hey, man, if he could just lay off that aggressive style that he has, which he'll probably never do with his moves and everything, he could legitimately point his way into a back marker playoff spot on points. Finished 13th. He was fast at Bristol and got taken out. He was fast in Charlotte, and he was solid again yesterday. But I know what Ricky Stenhouse does here. I'm pretty sure Connor's getting ready to say makes the grade, still fails the class. But I give Stenhouse a B because I just really think he's been putting it together a little bit here. And if he can just really ease down that aggressiveness, he could be a solid race car driver.
Yeah. I think a B to B minus kind of grade is pretty acceptable here. Ricky is undoubtedly a talented race car driver. You don't win Xfinity championships and things and races at the cup level without having talent. I think he can drive. I agree. I think there are still times where Ricky Stenhouse does Ricky Stenhouse stuff and gets over aggressive. But, at the end of the day, some of that could be too. He's still learning this new equipment. He hasn't been with a Chevy team before. He's brand new to this situation. So I'm willing to give him a little bit of leeway because, as you said, the last couple of weeks, he's looking like a really competitive race car. And that 47 team's looking like you said, like a back marker playoff team.
Yeah, boys, I'm gonna sound like a broken record here. You pass the test, you still fail the damn class. I don't know, man. It's just Stenhouse with his aggressive style. I feel like it's feast or famine, dude. Like he's either gonna be aggressive and it's gonna pay off for like a 10th to 15th place run, or he's gonna be aggressive and he's gonna end up on the hook and out of the medical center with like 40 laps in the race. I mean, it paid off for him yesterday. It paid off at Charlotte. The mile and a half seemed to be more of his kind of track this season when traditionally it's been the super speedways. He was running well at Bristol, but then again, it is Bristol. So I don't know. I'll give Stenhouse a solid C for his performance yesterday. I feel like it's pretty deserving, but by all means, he's still rocking with like a 43F right now. So until I see more out of him, he's still gonna be failing the class.
Yeah, I'll give him C plus or so. 13th ain't too bad for JTG, but we know that Stenhouse can do a lot better. It's just that his aggressive driving kind of gets in the way of him. So yeah, I'll give him a C plus just because I know that he can do better.
Aggressive or not, I mean, y'all know how I feel about Ricky, but look at how the 47 ran last year. Well, I know Ryan Priest was in it, but look how it ran last year to how the 47's running this year. Maybe the 47 and Ricky were a good mesh. I mean, I know he left 17 and he was still aggressive there, but he wasn't running near as fast as he is in this 47.
No, and I would agree. It's weird kind of to gauge, just like we were just saying about the 41. Regardless of the number, it's just kind of hard to gauge JTG as a whole because you saw Buscher at times look really fast over there. It's like, man, if you ever got a really good ride, who knows? Watch out. And he struggled mightily this year, and Ricky's kind of doing the same thing that Buscher did last year. It's like, man, when they give him a car, look out, he can do some things. So it's like, I don't really know exactly how to analyze it. Is a little bit of Ricky, is a little bit of this the situation over there, is a little bit of both. Like I said, probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, for sure. So, fourth driver on my list is the 48 of Jimmie Johnson. He's got a really good start to his final season. The speed is there. I don't think the race winning speed is there yet. He's heading into Martinsville as one of his best racetracks. That winless streak is now at 105. I think it's going to end soon. I'll give him a solid C plus day for his efforts. The speed is there. The race winning speed is just a tad bit off.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna flip Connor's script on him real fast here. It's like maybe he didn't have the best grade on this test, but Jimmie Johnson still got a very high grade in the class so far this year. Um, yeah, like you said, it's another one of those things where if this is how Jimmy's gonna run all year, he will be a contender for wins. We'll probably end up seeing him have a pretty solid season and end up having to make it a playoff run here as well. So, um, I would say probably about a C for the day, and I would say probably if we're gonna go that route too, probably about a B plus on the season so far.
Oh, I'll agree with you, Mike. To flip my own script on me, if you're averaging a B plus and you get a low C, you're still passing the damn class. So, I was a little kind of disappointed in Hendrick yesterday. Maybe it was just because I bought into all the pre-race hype that how fast Hendrick cars have been this year, and on a mile and a half track like Atlanta, where they have had success over the years. I guess I kind of bought into that hype, but a little disappointed in them yesterday. They never seemed to be a factor. The 9 was up there a little bit, but yeah, I'll give Jimmie a solid C for yesterday. Still showing speed, light years better than they have been in the past 2 years. They're just lacking a little bit in the speed department to get a win, but I think that's coming. So I have a solid C plus for Jimmie.
Yeah, I'll agree with you guys there. I think a solid C for Jimmie is fair. Like you guys were saying, we've seen the speed all season. We're all wondering when it's going to happen. So yeah, I'll give him a solid C, starting 15th, finishing 7th. Not bad day for the 48.
I'm super impressed with Jimmy's speed this year. I mean, the last couple of years since his last win in 17, I mean, he's got the car. Hendricks is definitely bringing some horsepower this year. If he could just not mess up when leading or make stupid mistakes, and if he's up there in top 5, the wins will come. I'm just hoping that I hope he wins this year. I hope he just gets a win or two. That's fine. Let's not get crazy with championship thoughts, but I hope it's at a cool track like Charlotte or Dover, one of his nostalgic Jimmie tracks. I just hope it's not like, New Hampshire or just some random off race like Hooley won. I hope it's kind of iconic, like Martinsville or something.
No, you know what it's going to
Martinsville at
be.
the end of the year, just like
That
Gordon
would be
did. That'd be
sick.
No,
sweet.
you guys know what it's going to be. It's going to be Jimmie Johnson at the Roval.
Yeah,
Oh.
right.
No, Truex is gonna take him out.
Getting
Yeah.
someone kind of avenge himself from a couple years back. All right, so everybody so far these drivers are doing okay. The only one who's in trouble of not making the grade was Cole Custer. But as we get into our final driver here, the 18 of Kyle Busch. Frustrating start to the 2020 season.
That's an F for Connor.
But here's the thing. Kyle Busch scored the second most points in yesterday's race. And Connor Bunn was sitting over here in our group chat yesterday acting like it was the end of the world.
That's every week.
Oh my
for
goodness,
Connor.
for finishing second place. I mean, it's only points matter in the end. You've said that before, and it's only a matter of time before Rowdy gets back into his normal self here.
Let me
Look
know
at
when
what
the
Kevin
race
Harvick
is
did
over.
last
I'm
year.
out.
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick didn't win a race until like July of last year, and then he started to really turn after that. So once Rowdy gets that first win off of his shoulder, he's just going to click from there. The Toyotas were really strong yesterday, which is something we haven't really seen this season once it resumed because they just didn't have this takeoff speed off the truck. And so it's a step in the right direction. Rowdy fans, don't hit that damn meltdown button just yet. Solid B day for Kyle Busch. He needed that, but no, I guess Connor's going to give him an F.
No, I'll eat those punches. I deserve to eat those punches. I need to just like Rowdy needs to turn around his performance. I need to turn around my mindset in some of these races. I told y'all to give me a few hours after the race, and that's exactly what it needed. Very solid day for Kyle. Very unexpectedly solid day as well, especially for a track like Atlanta that hasn't really served him that well in the past. The top five all day. Second, just a little bit off Harvick. I mean, if you're going to get beat by anybody at Atlanta and it be okay, why not it be Harvick? So I hate to sound too biased here, but I'm going to give Kyle a solid A just because of how they've been performing this year. If this was 2018, 2019, this would be like a regular B for Kyle Busch just because of, where the standard was for him those seasons and how well he's running. But considering, his luck and just them just totally missing the setups this year, I'll give him an A. I think it's his best run all year by far. So, yeah, I'll go with A for Kyle Busch, but I'll eat any punches you guys want to throw out. So serve them up, boys.
Well, Mike texted me yesterday after the race, and he's like, "You need to
this
put
was
Kyle
my
Busch
special
in this."
request, by the way.
I figured Kyle Busch was going to be at the end of this.
I was hoping I was just going to go first and just lay off the whole, man, listen, you're not first, you're last. Second place is just the first loser. Points. Couple it with the fact that, Rowdy couldn't even get it done in the truck this week, too, man. Pack it up, go home. You're washed up, 18. Hey, all kidding aside, Connor's finally starting to realize we are equal opportunity trash talkers here. We all mess with each other 100% on the show. So now that Nick finally got rid of that gangly beard he's got going on, Connor's the next target. But no, I agree. That's got to be a solid A day for Kyle Busch. You ran top 5 all day long, and you got the second most points in the whole race that accrued from anybody. Again, I've kind of talked about this a handful of times on the show. I think NASCAR's moving away from what matters more, points or top 10s and top 5s. I know obviously they're going to go hand in hand, but I would venture to guess most drivers at this point would rather get as many stage points as they can and maybe have a worse finish than not getting a bunch of stage points and having a really good finishing position. And the good thing is Kyle Busch did both this week, so he's looking really good. Top 5 all day, accrued a bunch of points, finished second in the race. Starting to look a little bit like the old Kyle Busch again. I'm not going to say he's all the way back to where he was, and I think Connor would agree there, but I think it's 100% a step in the right direction for Kyle Busch, Adam Stevens, and that whole 18 team.
Look, I'll serve it to finish my standpoint. I'll serve it up to you guys like this. We scored the second most stage points yesterday, falling behind our teammate. That's a plus in itself because it is our teammate. We can open up his notebook and see exactly what he had. So we can kind of play off him. It'd be different if it was Harvick because we'd have to dig a little bit deeper. But considering it is a teammate, it makes it a little bit more easier considering we can kind of lean on him. But y'all know I turned 22 tomorrow. With age comes wisdom. I'm a new man. It's gonna be a new year. No more Kyle meltdowns. Hopefully, I won't have to eat any more punches until Phoenix rolls around and Kyle loses. Then I might go off the deep end. But yeah.
I have no idea what y'all have been smoking. Kyle Busch is in the top 5 every freaking race. He finishes P4 in like stage 2, and Connor's packing it up going home. This is bull crap. I can't believe BS. His car's junk. We suck. P4 in stage 2. I mean, yeah, some speeding penalties here and there. He's been in the top 5 every freaking week, and that's trash and running slow and not doing good. Like, I don't know what y'all need, but, top 10s are solid. Top 10's a good day. John Hunter Nemechek finishes 8th, and we all flip out. But for Kyle Busch, third sucks, second sucks. This is bullcrap. We're trash. Car's junk. Oh, dude, if that 18 car is rolling, do not ever count him out. I preach that to y'all all the time. I'm a Kevin fan, but I respect the hell out of the 18, dude. He is always willing. If that thing's turning, he's freaking driving it, and if there's a late race restart, watch the hell out.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
here my whole big thing of it is this: if this is Kyle Busch struggling, holy shit, just wait till he gets going.
Hey, watch your language, man.
Yep. Yeah.
It's going. Gets going down a what slope?
Yeah.
Oh
good
boy, here we go again.
Even worse.
I would give Kyle an A for his Atlanta effort. He finished
second.
second in stage 1, finished third in stage 2, and then he finished second in the race. He
That's
had one hell of a
amazing.
race car. I got to give that boy an A.
The only thing that killed him, he didn't have the restart speeder. He could have been right
Yeah.
up there with Kevin.
Connor
But yeah,
But
Come on,
he's going the right direction. He's going to have 4 to 5 wins by the end of the season. He's going to be in the final 4. I wouldn't worry about anything if you're a Rowdy fan right now.
If you're a Rowdy fan, third, second is a trash day. That's a terrible run.
I guess
man,
so.
he could win.
I
He
don't
could
get it.
win, and y'all are still going to say something about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
the Pickers
we
still
didn't leave
suck in
enough
the race.
laps.
So
Kevin,
We'll take
if
this
Kevin
win.
finishes like 5th, 6th, 7th, I'm still happy. At least he didn't crash out, or he's in the top 10.
Hey boys, always grateful, but never satisfied. You can
It
always
ain't
strive
over
for
till
better,
it's
right?
over.
Just like Rowdy himself.
yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, you were made
You know
to
what?
be his
And
fan.
I will say this: as much trash talk as we give you, how much grief as we give you, Connor, there is a part of me that does respect that you're never satisfied until you get a W.
He's the only other multi-champion besides Jimmie in the series.
That is true. Yeah,
That's
I don't
true.
know. I don't know when I adopted that mindset of like, wins or bust. I
When
don't
you
know
start
when
talking to Dalton.
maybe. I was always content with
We
like
love you,
top
Dalton.
5s or 10s, but for some reason now, man, I don't know. I don't know. I want wins, especially when I see him
Man,
running in the
if
top
Matt
5 and we
Benedetto
just can't
finishes
win.
13th, I'm ecstatic. If Matt
Hell yeah.
Benedetto finished second in that race yesterday, holy crap! I think I would have a lot of sodas last night.
Yeah, but
If Bubba Wallace would have went second, third, second, I wouldn't be on the show today. You'd have to find me somewhere.
No way. Oh my god! But so yeah, boys, that's really all the professor has for us. So Cole Custer's the only one who really didn't make the grade today, but I'll be seeing him after class. He's gonna serve his detention. He'll be right back ready to go next week. One honorable mention: Austin Dillon again. The dude just continues to run well. I think he finished 11th in yesterday's race.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he finished 11th in yesterday's race. So RCR and the 3 car are finally starting to roll here a little bit. I'm gonna give myself a detention. That's like the 5th time my phone's fallen during this recording.
I will say,
Yeah,
I think
because-
it's only fitting that you are the professor wearing a Sunnyvale Trailer Park T-shirt.
yeah.
So you're basically the trailer park supervisor and can't keep your phone standing straight up.
Absolutely, but
Exactly.
So for Cole Custer, I'll see you after class. But everyone else, class dismissed.
All right, guys. So for the Stock Car Spectacle, I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
I'm Connor Bunn.
I'm Dakota Rutledge.
Guys, make sure to follow our great friends Connor and Dakota on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure to follow our good buddy Patrick Cotto with the Cotto's Mojo on Twitter and Instagram as well. You can listen to his podcasts on all podcast platforms. And make sure to follow our friends at Ashland Heddens Racing. So for the Stock Car Spectacle, we'll see you next time.